Okay, I am on my way to my first OB appointment, and I'm not nervous. I don't feel like there's anything to be concerned about, but there's just a lot of questions, and it's kind of like, okay, the time has come, we get to see baby, and you just wonder, is everything fine? Is the heart rate going to be higher or lower, which can sometimes indicate the gender. But honestly, with Turi, his heartbeat was super high anyway, so then I was like, well, maybe it is a girl. So that didn't matter. But just things like that, and then just also a little bit of wondering, is everything going to be okay? I mean, I feel fine. I feel like I'm growing. I have pregnancy symptoms. So just making sure that there's actually a heartbeat and things like that. I'm wondering, if everything really is good, and all that excitement about being able to see baby for the first time. So I'm excited. I have an ultrasound first, and then after that I have my appointment with my OB, and I'm really excited about it. So it'll be exciting just to see the baby first, and then chit chat about pregnancy and where I'm at. And that's another thing. The ultrasound will help determine measurements and where the baby is at growth-wise, and kind of where I'm at. And of course the clinic they're going by my period dates, and according to when I got my period, they think that I've explained this before, but there was such a gap, the longest I've ever had. It was just such a weird cycle. The period was short and faint, and then there was such a long gap between when the last day of my period ended to when I actually got that first positive ovulation test. And to the point where I assumed maybe I wasn't going to ovulate. I didn't know what was happening. It was just so much time, and it was a little abnormal, I think, for me. So the clinic is going by that period alone, and not going by when I think I actually conceived a baby. So I understand that pregnancy, they technically backdate it and start the count at the day of your first period and blah blah blah, but I feel like I know when I actually made a baby. And so therefore there's a 2-week difference in what the clinic thinks I am. I think I'm 14 weeks and 4 days today, and they think I'm 16 weeks and some. So I don't think that that's right. I think that I'm a little bit more behind than that, but we'll see where the baby's measuring. That will kind of help pinpoint too. And again, for me, I've always believed this from the beginning, but even now after having 2 babies, I know that due dates are nothing. Due dates literally just give you a 5 or 6 week range. Here's a date, let's just say you're due September 1st, but you could have the baby anytime between 2 weeks before that and 2 weeks after. It's just, so a due date for me, when they give me a date, I just throw it out there and then give myself a couple weeks on either end, and any time between there is go time for me. But of course with my last 2, I went, if you want to look at the technical due date, I went a week past the due date with my first, and then 2 weeks past the due date with my second, and I was induced for the second. So who knows really how long that baby would have sat in there, because he was nice and cozy, but I don't think it would have been much longer. I think it only would have been a couple of days. Who knows? So, yeah, we will see what the ultrasound determines, and I'm always interested to see. Weight gain is also so fascinating to me during pregnancy, and like how it can kind of shoot up at some points and then seem like you don't gain anything for a while, or at least for me. And so with my first two, because I keep track of everything, of course, with my first two, it's very interesting. At this point in my pregnancy, even though with my first I didn't know I was pregnant at 14 weeks, but I was still tracking my weight, just with like an app with my Fitbit. And I weigh my lightest right now at 14 weeks than I did with the other two. I weighed more at this point. So that's a good sign for me too, because I actually feel like I haven't been doing a whole lot fitness-wise. I wouldn't say I've been like going crazy with overeating, but I've definitely had some extra snacking that I probably didn't need. And that combined with not a whole lot of movement, I was a little concerned. So just out of curiosity, I stepped on the scale a little while ago before I left and was pleasantly surprised to see the weight. It's not very much up from my normal weight. It's a handful or so of pounds. So I'm happy to see that, because I feel like that, my goal, like, especially this week even, my goal this week is to do less of that snacking and be more active. And by active, I don't necessarily, I know myself and I know my life, and I feel like it's not realistic for me to think that I'm going to be able to work out every single day, but I'd like to do weights, like weightlifting, probably 3 times a week. So that would be doable for me, and I know that I can do that. I just need to do it and stop being lazy. But I think hopefully that will also help with just maintaining a healthy weight. And I'm finally hitting that second trimester burst of energy where I feel really good, and I feel like I can eat a lot of vegetables again and eat better. So I'm confident, I guess, that I can maintain, a healthy pregnancy from here on out. But curious to see that, I swear to you, the doctor's scale is always, they're a little generous there. Like, I feel like it's been like that my whole life. Like, I'll weigh myself before my appointment just so I feel like I have a heads up. I'm like, oh, cool, I weigh, 168. And then I go in and they're like, oh, 174. I'm like, what, I gained 6 pounds from the drive from home to here? Like, I think your scale's off. But my scale at home, even though I have 2 scales, but the one that's got like the little dial that you have to line up and zero it out, I even give it a little extra. Like, I set it like at 1 pound so that I know that it's, I'm not skimping, like trying to set it back so I look like I weigh less. But I am just looking forward to this. My goal is to probably set a couple appointments ahead of time. It's just interesting to see at this point with COVID going on what other appointments are going to look like, because when I was making this appointment in the first place, there was all the options to do it online, and I'm okay doing some of my appointments, not online, but like via video, and I'm okay doing some of my appointments like that. But I feel like I don't know what the doctor is going to say, but I feel like with a pregnancy, it's really important to go and be seen in person, because the doctor, like, at least for me, like, she touches my stomach and she is listening to things, and they're checking the heart rate, and like, they can't do any of that when you're at home. So how do you know that things are fine? And I don't know. I guess we'll just see what she thinks and what the typical process is here. I should have my sunglasses are buried, I feel like. Squinting. But we'll see what she says. I don't know. It's just gonna be like a different experience, I guess. And I'm also excited because I feel pretty confident that this is our last baby. And so I just kind of want to soak everything in. Like, this is the last time. This is the last time that I'll go to my first OB, pregnancy appointment. And that's kind of weird. Like, this will never, now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, like, I'll never have another time like this. And that's fine with me. I've had 3. I'll have, this will be my 3rd. And I fully have embraced jumping into pregnancy and multiple pregnancies, like, in such a short time frame. I was thinking this morning too, today is August 31st of 2020, and oh good, I'm out of low fuel. Good thing I'm almost there, and there's a gas station across the street. But today is August 31st of 2020. People are so stupid. Why the fuck would you? If you know you need to turn, get the fuck over. Sorry. And now you have your blinker on and you're not doing a damn thing. Like, fuck it. What the heck are you doing? You're not even doing, you don't even know your blinker's on. You're that. Chill. It's not good for the baby. Some people, I swear. Anyway. Yes, today is August 31st of 2020, and this time 3 years ago I was pregnant with my first, and so that's just wild to me that, I just conceived my first, and now I'm coming in for my 3rd, and a lot can happen. So I am gonna go into the clinic here and get the party started, and we'll check in later. Look at this person. Little baby. Whew. Okay. Well, that is done. Everything is good. It's definitely a blessing. I gotta get gas. Such a blessing to be able to see that ultrasound and the heartbeat and everything. It's really nice. But everything looked good. The baby was being super wiggly and squirming all over the place. So the ultrasound tech was kind of struggling just a little bit. Okay, then we're both going upstairs. Oh man, people need to utilize their blinkers more. A little blinking can go a long way. Anyway, yeah, everything was good. Surprise, the doctor's scale was actually, I weighed less there than I did at home. Not by much, like a pound, but like, okay. But my doctor and my nurse, everybody was really excited to see me. Just fun to see people again. They're like, "You're back." I'm like, "Yeah, I know." Having another baby, but it was all good, and yeah, baby was really wiggly, but everything was good. Like I said, I thought that I wasn't quite as far along as the clinic thought, but baby is measuring. I thought I'm about like 14 weeks and 4 days. Baby is measuring about 15 weeks and 1 day. So that's fine with me. We will move it up a little bit. Didn't really change anything as far as due date. I mean, it changed, I think, from what they originally told me, but I don't, like I said, I don't care about that. It didn't matter to me anyway. And anything else? Yeah, doctor said everything looked good, and they give you the full examination down there, and everything looks good, everything looks normal. Baby's heart rate is about 146-ish, so hard to tell at this point. Could be a girl, could be a boy. We don't know, but we will see. I don't go back in now, so what, I'm 15 weeks. They want to see me about between 20 and 22 again for another ultrasound and then a follow-up appointment. So that is what I will do. I hate going to this gas station. It's like the busiest one in the world. It's such a pain in the butt to get into. But you gotta do what you gotta do here, huh? Go around the other side. Alright, well, that's all I have, I guess. The appointment went well, and I'm feeling good. I've got good energy, and I will check in, I guess. I don't know when I'll make my next pregnancy video, but no cravings, really like no symptoms whatsoever. I'm chilling right now. Not really showing yet. I feel like pudgier, if that's a good word to describe it, but that's it. So, I don't know, I guess I'm 15 weeks now. And then I will maybe do like a 17 or 18. I don't know, we'll see.